How's everybody? Doing all right, thank you. Thank you. All right, fire away.
Okay. For you, Skylar, I want to first of all preface this question by saying that I think you have returned from pregnancy in a remarkable way, and you've affected your team every time you've been on the floor. But obviously tonight was your best shooting night so far. How, did something click for you today? Was it sort of you just kind of finally had the time and you felt like you kind of hit your stride? What was going on today?
Sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
that was delicate.
Yeah, I love the way you just asked that question.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. This is there's no sample size for what I'm trying to do. You got one current player and one former player. I could talk to Taj or I could talk to De'Arca. That's it. It's no sample size. It's rare air, for what I'm trying to do. And so navigating this season with two little ones, trying to balance everything, I want everything to go so well here. This is my last stop in the W, and I want it to go really well. And so with that, it's going to be ebbs and flows, and you just kind of have to go with it. That's through any season. And, my teammates this is the best place for me to be. My teammates have been amazing, the way that they support me, the way that they encourage me, same with the coaching staff, but everybody really, I've been putting the work in. So I knew between that and the law of averages, someone was going to start falling. But it's really all to my teammates and credit to them and my coaches, PD, Marcus Tibbs, putting the time in, looking at film and just trying to build. It's not about me, it's about the success of the team. But I know, when I could get it going like that's very helpful and beneficial to the team. I think Noe would be the most proud of the 9-to-1 assist to turnover ratio tonight. But it felt good. I knew it was just a matter of time, and hopefully this is just something I can continue to build off of.
And you mentioned off the court, obviously you have two little ones. You mentioned when you first signed that, part of the reason you signed was because you felt like you had the resources here. I'm just wondering, now that you've had a little bit more time with the franchise, how you feel supported and how you feel just how that's going overall, because I know it's difficult.
Yeah, it exceeded my expectations, really. But none of this happens without my husband, Daniel. Just him encouraging me, him pushing me, working out with me, doing recovery, just speaking positivity in life into me, and obviously him taking care of our children. I couldn't ask for a better partner in this process. And, I got a big sister that I look up to.
Only by a month.
Yeah, only by a month.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, taller sis that I look up to. But yeah, just the people. And that's why I wanted to be around these people that I'm around now, because I knew this wasn't just going to be just linear progress. It was going to be a process for me. And how we started the season, we knew it was going to be a tough start, having 5 and 7 days, I believe. And then you miss the best player in the world for 2 games, and you got to kind of just do what it do. But I've been in the W for a long time, and I know how these seasons go. I know how long they can be. So yeah, I couldn't ask for it to be in a better place, and for a better support system here for what we're trying to do and what I need.
And then last, can I have one more?
And then we come back to you. Thanks. You're done. Just the things that you saw from her in that first quarter were what?
The first quarter of the whole game.
The first game.
Oh, I mean, Sky sets the tone. I think she has an incredible agenda of having to keep us organized and then also stop the head of their snake, So we try to keep her supported by matching her energy on the defensive end, getting stops, and then making it fluid for us to be able to go on offense. Just because she can organize this doesn't mean she should have to every single time. And I think right now we're finding ways to integrate that flexibility. And that's what I see a lot in the start of the games. And then it's almost like she finds her moments, she finds her moments throughout the game. I'm always telling her, it's nothing, like, go in there. They can't stop you. because she does that for me. I'm someone who needs that reminder. And so I try to reciprocate that. And that's what I've seen both ends of the court. Her sustaining the energy that we're able to use to surge in ways that's building what we're trying to do.
And did you think that tonight was like maybe how it all could look, just with the shooting and the
Let me look at
defense?
my crystal ball for a second. And, I mean, in a perfect world, if we could shoot, the second best field goal percentage and score 100 points, yeah, I'll take it. Let's put it in the atmosphere. But obviously, we saw a lot of positive things to build off of going into, this next road trip which is really important for us to lock in Chicago. They're playing really well right now. They're taking on the personality of their coach. They have a lot of edge on defense. And so, yeah, this is something that we are hopeful that we can build off of. Obviously, we've seen it in spurts, and I think tonight we saw it in stretches. And so to continue to put it together for 40 minutes, I always say I don't think we painted our masterpiece yet, but 19 for 26 from the field in the second half, I think that's pretty solid. We're starting to find our pockets, and yeah, our goal is to continue to build off of that.
Skylar's temperament, this is to you, she's like you, the warrior dog mentality, but there was a play today where she came down and she had the shot and she gave it to you. Just the duality that she straddles in being, a clinical scorer and yet also a facilitator. Can you just talk to that, please?
I mean, I feel like a really great player can't be one without the other, That's something that she has always been. It's something that I've always seen and experienced. And for me, like the honest is on me to complete what she creates, And that's something that I hold to a very high regard in terms of the responsibility that I have, because she's doing a lot trying to get us organized. She's doing a lot trying to get us open and also still create for herself. So the least I can do is complete what she creates. And I think that's the duality that we see in how she can come down, break someone down, but then she can come down, break someone down, and still have the capacity to create something. And I'm not new to it at all, but I'm new to experiencing it on a day-to-day. And that's something that it's a big part of why I'm seeing a lot of success on this team.
And Skylar, for you, we talked pregame, but the next goal obviously is consistency for this team. And so what's the next step? And I don't mean break it down every moment, you know what I'm saying? But how do you all build this consistency on this team?
I think leaning into our defense. I think that really set the tone for us in the second half. I think we held them to, I don't have the box score, but I think it was 25 in the second half. 20 something in the second half. 28 points. 28 points. So I think just that's where we want to live. And then the culture of how we do things. The bench coming in, Sadie's coming in, getting 7 rebounds. I thought Sammy's minutes, going 4 for 5, and her minutes having the best plus minus out of anybody. Jordan Horston, just her ability to rebound the basketball, to get into the lane, and to defend as well. But it's really leaning into our defense and trying to establish our edge there and keep it the whole game. NECA spoke on it a little bit about, being able to create offense off of, our defense and being into a flow instead of having to take it out, being able to flow, the ball just moves around, being able to push pace there. But it's going to start on the defensive end.
Skylar, in this game, you guys have over 100 points for the first time this season. You're shooting over 60%, and you had 27 assists as a team. Just talk about the growth of the offense and building of the chemistry now compared to like the first games of the season.
No, I'm just fine. Next question. Yeah, I mean, the beginning of the season, I don't really internalize too many things there. We had small sample size of games. But yeah, like I said, it was our defense that set the tone. Leaning into that in the first quarter, I think we held them, I think it was 25-15 in the first quarter, and then gave up a big second quarter. And we got a very spirited response from Noe at halftime. And, that lit a fire under us in the third and obviously finishing out in the fourth. But that's how we want it to look like defensively. Offensively, like I said, not to be redundant, but it really came off of our defense. Trying to see our points off turnovers. We got 21 points off turnovers. Yeah, I mean, just playing solid. Limited them to one shot. They had a few offensive rebounds in the first half. I think we limited them in the second half from getting some of those. And then the next step will be obviously, I have 5 fouls, but just doing a better job of defending, without fouling. But offensively, that stems from, our defense. That's why you see a lot of the flow, the ball moving, throw aheads, crossing, screen roll, getting people on the move, extras, all that comes from shifting the defense, but ultimately, not letting them set up, not letting them, their defense get set, stemming from one and done on the other side of the ball.
And NECA, in the third quarter, Ezzy had 10 points, and of the core four, all you guys had 16 or more. Just talk about Ezzy's performance in the third, but also how any of you can kind of take over a quarter.
I mean, I think that's that's the idea behind, as you said, a core four. It can be any one of us at any moment. I think we definitely have catalysts. But for us to be able to sustain a 40-minute game where we can kind of always control the tempo of the game, having someone like Ezzy, obviously me, Sky Jewel, and then that extends. I mean, like we play deep into our bench as well. You see, Sammy had some really great minutes. Jordan made some great plays. Sadie's as well. But having someone like Ezzy who comes out there and she's like the motor, she kind of like goes and she continues to make plays on both ends of the court. But I think that's kind of the thing that we have to sustain over this time as we build, understanding that it's not one person, it's not 2 people, it's not 3 people, it's not 4, but still finding our moments where we can be as effective as possible, both individually, which leads to the collective success. And I'm still trying to, I think it's kind of coming out. I think the beast in Izzy's kind of coming out. She's obviously the sweetest, but a 10-point quarter like that from her, like I want her to know that that's light work. That's light work. And I think that what we exude is that contagion. And so I expect that she will continue to feel that energy and also translate it in her own way, as we saw tonight, consistently.
You've both briefly talked about, the friendship between you two. And I asked Coach pregame, it was there was a play in practice yesterday where I think, Skylar, you were trying to figure something out and NECA was just talking you through it. The next time through, it just clicked. And you both talked about wanting to play with each other in your press conferences here. Just what does that friendship between you both look like? Because Coach said it was something far more than basketball. Just what does that look like as the season has gone on? And as you both, NECA talked about how it's helped her game, just how it's helped both of you early into the year here.
I've known her half my life, but I think we're both the same in that what's real doesn't have to be explained, and that's been since I met her. We've had the same goals, the same vision. We have the same discipline to life, not even just basketball. And we understand each other without necessarily having to explain too much, broadcast too much, and we can be real. And I just feel like that's something that is incredibly sacred in relationships, especially like in what we do. And I think it's funny because like a lot of people didn't know that we're close.
I know.
But that's kind of how we like it.
Yeah. Good.
But I do love that you can see that connection that we've had for so long in what we're trying to do out here. And for me, it's a real blessing to be able to play with someone that is like your sister. I've literally played with my sister.
Yeah.
And, even though I'm not doing it now with my blood sister, I have my sister here. And like knowing that you have someone like that can back you up, that can see you when you don't see yourself, it goes much further than just making a right play or fixing a mistake. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah, it's deep. It's deep.
It's deep.
I could
Yeah.
cry tears and I'm gonna do it and sing. Yeah, I mean, I love Nick, and then we go back. I always say we go back like fat crayons. You know, that's how far back we go. You know, she sees me. I said it in the press conference too. Like she sees me. I said it in the press conference. I tell her things, you know, because I trust her. I ask her opinion on things because I value it. You know, she's a straight shooter with me, but we're always aligned. You know, if we're not on the same paragraph, we in the same page, in the same book, in the same chapter, you know, and I appreciate the way she communicates, you know. But yeah, I love the opportunity. When I look on, it doesn't even feel like I'm playing with four other people on the floor, because we're so connected. You know, it's easy playing with great players, and so she makes it easy what she sees from her perspective. The post guard, you know, just natural, doesn't matter about position, but it's about action with Nick. And, you know, when she talks, you stop and you listen to what she has to say because it's always relevant. And I think that's really important for us to be on the same accord. Coming into this team, we've been embraced very well, but definitely our relationship on off the court helps this, and we see that.
Time for one question on Zoom. Christian, go ahead on Zoom, and then we'll wrap up.
Hey, Skylar and Nneka. Coming into this game, you know, Coach has spoken so highly of you guys game after game, whether it be a great performance or not, that she always knew that this game was coming on both sides of the court. But starting the season, you guys have been top 5 in most defensive categories, you know, just waiting for the offense to click, which just takes time. Knowing this game was coming, how does it feel just know to get this under your belt and just keep moving forward?
Shoot, feels good. Feels good. And I feel best that you up here wearing this poncho.
You know, I worked damn hard for this poncho, so I was wearing this up here. Yeah, I don't think that we're gonna go home and be like, yeah, we did it. We broke the code. We got it. You know, I think that this is we want this to be the standard
right
now. But it's not just going out, you know, everybody plays basketball in this league. So nobody's just going to lay down for you. Nobody's going to put, you know, you have to every single night, you have to be ready to play. It's not just a light switch we can turn on and off. And so I think we're really adamant about, you know, wanting to go into this road trip with that same mentality and really have no letdowns defensively. That's what travels. And we know defense travels, and so that's what we want in the Chicago game to be our approach. But you know, we can't just say we cracked all the codes tonight. It was a good game. They were down 2 starters as well, and so you know, give them credit for mucking it up and you know, being physical and things like that. Stuff that we felt like, okay, we could see, okay, we need to handle these things better. And so we haven't painted our masterpiece yet. This is a positive thing, but we're just not going to rest on this one game.
Right.
All right, Nneka, Sky, thank you.
Thank you.
Coach, obviously the 100 points is great, but how happy with you with the team's defensive effort, especially kind of locking in after that second quarter where things kind of got away a little bit?
Yeah, to allow 28 points in the second half is a very good defensive effort. 10 points in the fourth quarter. I thought there were moments where, you know, it could have gone the other way, but I think we tightened up and understood those moments in the game where in the previous games that, you know, it slipped the other way. Again, we will hang our hat on defense. And yes, absolutely, the 100 points is great, but at the other end of the floor, the effort to me is what matters the most.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize the answer was over. That's my bad. Again, with the offense, it wasn't just that you scored a lot of points necessarily, but it felt like there was more flow today. Obviously, really balanced scoring.
I agree.
It wasn't Jewel coming up with 30. You had 5 players with double-digit scoring. You know, Skylar was saying that she thought that came from the defensive end. Do you agree, or do you also think that maybe now that everyone has had more time to play together, some of that offensive flow is really finding its spot?
Yeah, I agree with both points. I think that the way in which we played defense can generate easier buckets offense, so we're not going against set defenses. And also today, it was good to see second, third side, everybody touching it and the ball having some zip and pop, things that we haven't seen. And there's synergy between our offense and defense, and it's very clear. And the thing is, what happens with flow is like a sniper like Sammy gets a touch and momentum. You know, Tori gets a touch. Sadie's gets a touch. So, you know, those starters are always going to have a rhythm, but what flow does is helps our others be impactful during the game.
And could you just speak a little bit more on the impact your bench had today? Obviously, multiple players came in and really played a role. Can you just speak more to that?
Yeah. I'll start with Sammy. I thought she had impactful minutes. I think she's plus 24. Yeah. And that's on both sides of the ball. She's the timely threes help that momentum for us, but also what Sammy's doing on the defensive end of the ball. She's been doing it since training camp, and it's a lot of carryover. Jordan, where she's at in this pocket of energy, mainly defensively, or not mainly, but first defensively to start. We can put her on multiple players, different positions, and she has the ability to use her length and athleticism. Excuse me. You could go down the list. Sorry. I know this is gonna happen. Sadie's even, you know, her being a force, looking at the rim and having some good impactful minutes.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Sorry. The things that you saw from Skylar, especially in that first quarter when she scored 10 points, I believe you guys led 25-15. There, just what things did you see from her that maybe told you that, wow, she's on one, you know, she's having a good game.
You know, the interesting thing is the looks that she was getting today, she's been getting them. Getting downhill, getting to the paint today, those were finishes and they were intentional. And she had an ability to, you know, she's in a lot of ball screen reads, but we're, you know, even in transition, putting pressure at the rim, she's been doing that consistently. Now today, she just made them and got her in a groove and in comfort. And when she's like that, she's difficult to stop.
And those two guys really talked about like the idea that you haven't like arrived yet, that this is a big road trip just the things that you have to do sort of going now, maybe sustaining this into that road trip are what?
The biggest thing is to stay fresh. I think, you know, we learned a lot. You know, we had a tough road trip, a back-to-back double overtime game. What we did the past couple of days is make sure our group was fresh. So we're start there. The other is, you know, on the road, you know, you can't use, thank you, the crowd to ignite you. You have to find some energy within yourself, and you know, we learned that on the road as well. And then the other is every team in this league is tough, so the mindset is 1% better every single day. Like we can't. The thing about growth, it's linear. It's not linear. So we understand like sometimes we'll have some days where we're not as sharp or whatever the case may be, but we're at the point of the season where we know what it feels like because we did it tonight. And so it's about duplicating that and bringing our best effort every night. Thank you.
Okay, Coach. I'll start with Jordan Horston. I know we asked you earlier in the season whether she'd start or not, and you said, you know what, the energy that I want her to bring from the bench. Can you talk about? It looks like it's energy on both ends of the floor.
The reminder is that Jordan is young. That's the reminder. The amazing thing is that she's getting better every single day, and when you have a young player who can start the game just by looking and understanding what her role is. She comes in the game, it's energy on the defensive end, versatility on the defensive end, and then everything after that is icing on the cake. Her ability to create in transition, she has a very good passing ability, and her rebounding. And so if you think about having an impactful player like that come off the bench to elevate the energy, it matters a lot. And also it gives her an ability to learn. You know, sometimes when you start the game and, you know, you have to be super sharp. Coming off the bench, it allows her to mess up. Let's be straight up, mess up sometimes, but also work through it. And also in the unit that she's in, she can be way more aggressive and understand where her spots can come. So work in progress. It may change. You know, the year is fluid, but what she's doing every game is learning and getting better.
And then on the zip, pop, and flow of, you know, the offense and defense, is the team now familiar with what the install that you have for them now? Or does that always change a little? I get the tweaks, but just the base.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're not there yet. But today is, you know, it's a sign of what's to come. If in fact we continue on this path, I think, yes, there are things that we want to get to toward the middle and late season, but I want them to have comfort in the base. And right now, I think there is some comfort in that. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, okay. Skylar said that you would probably be most proud of that she had 9 assists and just 1 turnover. And as a team, you had a season high 27 assists. What are you seeing from Skylar specifically as a facilitator, but also the team's improved ball movement?
She's absolutely right, because we joked the other day that, you know, I've been on her about the turnovers and on our team about the turnovers and starts with her. The other day we had a double overtime game and I talked about how our assists were still low. And so, yes, for her to have 1, probably owe her some money or something. She's gonna be on my head tomorrow if I don't address that as well. But I will address it to the media and tell her she did an amazing job not of taking care of the ball. When we as a team take care of the ball, we have more shots on goal, period. An ability to execute and utilize our weapons because we have possessions, and valuing those possessions is going to continue to be important moving forward. But what you're highlighting is assists. I want to live in 20 plus every game, every day, because we have an ability to, and that means that we're the flow, the ball is moving, and all of those things are happening. And again, if we can, I love seeing 5 people in double figures. I think that we can really have some success if we live in that.
And Jade Milburn for the Mystics, I believe, had a career high 13 points. What did you see out of her game?
She's aggressive, getting downhill. Jade is a very good player, you know, and she has an ability to play in space, get to the rim, see, you know, openings for pockets and all those things. I thought she was aggressive and confident.
Sky said you gave a very passionate speech at halftime. What was that all about?
Yeah, Sky telling all the family business. What's up? I'm about to get on there about that. A very passionate speech at halftime is what I had. Because I want more, and I'm greedy, and I want them to be sharp all the time. And I thought that they were just on cruise control. And for me, this team is learning and growing, and we're having reps. We had a lot of great reps early on in some adverse situations. This is the first time I've seen 100 on the board in a long time, being here. So for me, it's always like to stay sharp, to stay tight and never be satisfied. And I felt like they needed a little bit of a push at halftime.
Let's take a question from Christian on Zoom. Go ahead, Christian.
Hey, Coach. You know, we've talked from really since training camp up until now. The defense has been percolating. I mean, top 5 is rebounds, opposing points in the paint, steals, deflections, anything you can really think of. That's where the defense has been. Like, we've known this type of performance was coming with the type of talent that's on this team as far as on the offensive end. But like, what kind of led into this? You know, Skylar said that a lot of these looks that she's been getting, you know, just kind of didn't go down. And
Yeah.
that's what we kind of saw. A lot of those finishes, especially right at the rim, whether it be contact or not, she was finishing through them. And then the second one, you know, the 7 of the next 9 games for the team are on the road. You've spoken, at length about charters now that being widely accessible. How important is that to the team's chemistry? That's a big chunk of the season coming up.
Yeah, I'll start with the charter. It's very important because again, this week showed me that this group excels with rest. And for the ability to for us to leave right after a game and get to the city or whatever it is to um, retain all of the rest time that we can, it's very important. I think it prepares us in a different way. I think it gives us and just fresh legs, fresh minds, and a recharge that wouldn't happen if we had to sit in the airport and wait and all those things that happen when you don't take charter. As it relates to your first question, I'll say this, Eric does a great job with Washington. I think that, without Slim and without Austin, they're a different team. So I'll say that. But as far as our defense, we were very aggressive. Deflections, we have that as a goal to get 25, I believe, every game. We have these standards defensively that we feel like we can hold when we're locked in. And again, we will continue to hang our hat on the defensive end because with the team who is, new and gelling to play in transition from generating steals helps tremendously. And I just want to continue to encourage my team and shout out my team for buying into the defensive side of the ball.
We have time for two quick ones here in the room, Jeff, and then we'll close with Bella.
Yeah, Coach, a year ago, I felt like points in the paint and rebounding were kind of big weaknesses for the team. This year, you've been maybe not every game, but majority of games, I think you're winning those battles. Today, it's 44-30 in the paint for you guys. What are you seeing is kind of where that's improving?
NECA,
Is it as simple as that?
and Sky, because a lot of that too is getting downhill. But NECA, is a post presence that, though she talks about maybe being undersized and all those things, she's very strong and able to really finish efficiently around the rim. And just a mindset of being aggressive, getting to the paint. Jewel, is not only settling for taking shots, she's making sure she's getting to the rim and an excellent finisher as well. I think it's just a mindfulness of not just not just taking threes or whatever it is, and also just taking what the defense is giving. And then the rebounding, again, that's, Ezzy has been super solid defensive presence, but also if you think about the 11 rebounds that Jewel's getting the other day, 10 or 11 that she's getting, our guards are getting rebounds. Tori's getting there and getting some. Jordan consistently getting some rebounds. And then again, NECA, being able to rebound at a high clip for us, it breeds all of those things that you're talking about.
Okay, I promise this one is actually super quick. Sadie's went down last couple minutes. How is she doing?
Yeah, she said she's good. Yeah. Thanks.
Everybody, we'll see you Tuesday. Let's go.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll get started with in-person questions first.
Defense has been one thing we've been happy about all year. So when you're not tonight, was that a hot shooting team or what weren't you happy about on that end?
I mean, you got to give credit to Seattle. They played great. They shot the ball great. I think that's probably the picture that people had of what they can be. Seattle, they're clearly a better offensive team than they had shown maybe their first few games. One of our biggest keys was to try to get up the floor and dictate. And I didn't think we disrupted their timing much at all. They were playing with a lot of intent and kind of turned it around at the other end and took us out of our stuff. So we just got outplayed.
What was did you like the looks that Ariel was getting tonight and they just weren't going down?
Several of them. I didn't think, of her 12 attempts, I'll say 8 or 9 were probably pretty good looks. A couple she had to take against the shot clock, but just tough when it didn't go in.
Breakout from Jade. What did you like about her team?
She plays with a great energy. Thought she was the only one for a while that was really getting up and picking the ball up and pressuring. And she plays with just a liveliness to her, similar to what we've talked about with Julie this year of she's not afraid. And, for a young point guard, she shows real signs of knowing how to run a team and get us organized and get us into stuff.
And last one for me, we've talked a lot about, you guys have been right there in every game up to tonight. What was your biggest disappointment with today?
I mean, just all of it. We just played poorly. They played a lot better than us, so we got to pick ourselves up and regroup. Get home, get a couple days to get ready for a home game on Wednesday. And nothing else really matters at this point.
Tyler.
Hey, Coach, I want to continue talking about Jade for a moment. I know with bench players, you're always talking about have them bring energy, provide that spark for you guys and be ready to go. But I know just being a point guard, sometimes it's a little bit more than that. With Jade, what are maybe some of the things that you guys were trying to key in on her to have in like these past couple of games to be ready for this type of moment?
To be honest, we haven't had to say too much to her. She just shows up every day with an enthusiasm to play, to practice. She knows our offense. She understands what we're trying to do on defense. It's been a pretty easy one for the coaches. I mean, she just wants to be out there and earn her minutes, and that's what she's doing.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Right, thanks.
That's a really good offensive team that they're constructed over there. But what was your biggest disappointment with the offense tonight?
I mean, I think that you can't let a team like that get hot or get confidence. Haven't looked at the stats yet, but clearly when our offense isn't going, we can't let that put us on our heels on defense. And like I said, we can't we were scrambling, I think, around. They were aggressive. Yeah.
You guys have been right there in every single one of the games. This is the first time we've had one like this. What was the most frustrating part of just the entirety tonight?
Me?
Yeah.
Honestly, instead of what I want to say is the bright spot of today I thought was Jade. I really think that she came in and gave us really good minutes, just like she did in the last game against Phoenix. So for I was looking for a different word than shitty, but for a shitty game, I think that is the bright spot. So that's how I want to answer that question. But I was proud of her, and she's fearless. So we need that from her. Appreciate you. Yeah.
And that's what I was just about to ask. Congratulations, first of all. Your high is dictating just all over the place tonight. What was working so well, and did you feel it early? Did you come in feeling good today, particularly good today, or did you, did it just start kind of evolving as the game went on?
I think honestly, it's the confidence that my teammates gave me. Ever since I came over to Washington, 2 days before the season started, all I've received from these guys is confidence and belief in myself. Carly's constantly reminding me that it's a good drive, even when it's a miss. Everyone's just telling me to be myself, and I just feel like I'm a really perfect fit here. So, when you're constantly getting that feedback from coaches and teammates and making you feel belief in yourself, it's easy to go out there and do that kind of stuff. So for me, it's just about bringing energy, seeing how I fit in this team, and hopefully you can see a lot more of that from me.
Eric was just in here talking, saying that it's been really easy to coach you because you've just kind of caught on with everything so quickly. Is that just natural, or what did you do to try to accelerate that process as much as possible?
I mean, it goes back to my team. I mean, I'm a basketball nerd, so I've been writing notes. They make it easy. Coaches hand out playbooks. We're constantly doing 5-on-0 and, you know, I can ask anyone in the group, hey, where do I get here? And everyone's got such good knowledge of the playbook already, which makes it really easy. When you're in the right spot, the wrong spot, when you don't know when to make a cut, they're going to tell you. So I think that's been really cool. Everyone's just been so helpful, happy to answer questions. And then, yeah, for myself, I like to think I'm a quick learner. I'm a bit of a basketball nerd. So just been studying, continue to look at the plays, figure out, and I got to do a lot of watching as well. So it was easy to jump in there then. And like I said, all my teammates give me belief. So yeah, it's been a really great transition and I've enjoyed it.
Just one next one for you. Is it even a little nice to do it here in particular?
I mean, no. Like I honestly enjoyed my time in Seattle. There's no bad blood, you know, at the end of the day. They recruited some players. Maybe I wasn't the right fit for them at the time, but you know, I think everything happens for a reason and I'm loving Washington. You know, I've got great teammates. I felt right at home immediately when I walked in, even though it was the most hectic 48 hours of my life. So overwhelmed, but everyone made me feel so welcome. I'm so comfortable and yeah, I mean, it's nice to do it in any game. But yeah, no hard feelings against Seattle. I really love the organization. They gave me my first opportunity in the league. So yeah, no worries.
Tyler.
Hi, Jade. Hi, Carly. Jade, I'll keep going with you on just that note. How does it feel just being in this moment right now, having it come in Seattle? I know you've been kind of waiting for some of these moments to kind of prove yourself, and tonight you get the minutes and you're able to show what you can do at this level.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, you know, it's nice to get an opportunity and stuff. But yeah, you know, like I said, I would have much preferred to walk out of here with a win tonight. That wasn't the case. But you know, we're going to grow as a team. We're new. We've got some great young players. We've got some veterans that we can learn off and stuff. And you know, as a group, we've only played 6 games together. So although it hasn't been a great start for us, we're going to continue to build. We're super connected. We're super tight. So there's no cracks. It's just a matter of getting back to work now. And we have a great opportunity to play Atlanta on Wednesday night. So we're going to do everything we can. We'll bounce back, no doubt.
For sure. And Carly, I'll just kind of pick up with you on the same thing. Just what's the vibe kind of like in the locker room? What was kind of said after that game? I know it's been a tough road trip for you guys and not to start the season that you wanted, but Eric talked about how you guys feel like a lot of stuff you guys can do fix is internal. So what's the vibe in the locker room like?
Yeah, I mean, every other game that we've lost, we've been right in it. This one was obviously different, so it's like not a great way to end a long road trip. It's literally only up from here. So I think there's so much we can do and it'll be nice to have a couple practices. Obviously we've had a game travel, like this is just the nature of the schedule of the league of all teams this season. But it'll be nice to get on the court, like reset at practice, and just keep getting to know each other and hopefully get some pieces back too and just flow and be ready to fight on Wednesday.
Awesome. Thank you both. Safe travels back to DC.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you both.
Thank you.